Hello, thank you for joining me. This is our video number 8 in our series Components, Constraints, and Tags. And of course, with tags come schedules, and we're in the middle of 2 schedules right now. So you notice if we go to our project browser, we have 2 schedules. Here we have a door schedule, which we just created. And prior to that, we had a furniture schedule. So I think a door schedule is probably in pretty good shape. It's all filled in. I like to have those all capitals, and if I can find a way to make this all capitals, I just downloaded an application, so I need to close Revit out and see if I can get that app to work. And if I can, I'll show you how to do that, because that would certainly save a lot of busy work. But I've never seen any sort of annotation on a construction or engineering or architectural drawing that wasn't all capitalized. It's a rare exception to see that. It's just perhaps an unwritten standard that's out there. So let's do this. Let's take our furniture schedule and make some modifications to that. A couple things that are notable here. I like to make the numbers centered. That's going to be a requirement for this class, but make the numbers centered. It's just a little bit easier to read. Everything else is going to be left justified. A lot of the stuff that we entered in regard to the manufacturer is already left justified and capitalized. So until we can come up with a solution for the capitalization problem, everything you have control over, you need to capitalize. One thing I like to do is take out the count. It's kind of silly to have count in here because it's going to count in regard to the type mark. It's going to put in one item for every chair that we have, so there's no sense counting it more than once. So we're going to take that out of our field. And then we're going to take it looks like everything else is in pretty good shape, so let's go ahead and get started on that. In regard to fields, we're going to take our cost, or our count. We're going to delete that. We're going to just move that back, remove it. And then we're going to go over to our filter. We're not going to filter anything by sorting and grouping. We're going to keep that with our type mark. We're going to make sure that's ascending, starting from the very top. And then formatting, we're going to keep that correct. But in regard to our type mark, we're going to make sure that that's centered. So sorry about that. The type mark is going to be centered in appearance. We're going to make sure that we take out that blank row before data. It takes out this row up here. So go to OK. And that looks like it's getting pretty close. We can change our type marks to different marks if we like. We also have a little bit of redundancy down here in regard to our executive chair and the desk. Both share the same number. We had an error about that earlier, so we're going to go ahead and change that. We're going to keep number 6 for our chair up here, so it's with this group up here. With these chairs, we're going to take our desk, 60-inch desk, make that number 7. And it's going to ask us if we want to apply that to all the other desks in the series, and that's going to be okay. It's not really asking us, it's telling us that that's what it's going to do. It's just the way the database is set up. And if you make one change to one of the database elements, it's going to change it to all of them. In fact, it's just the same database element. It's just going to make that change for us. So let's fill in some of the gaps here. Let's call this Office Pro for the furniture. It's going to add it to all the other ones. Description. In regard to the chair, perhaps with description we can label what kind of room it's going to go into, maybe an area. So for the Cobra chair, we're going to call that reception. Again, it's going to ask us if we want to apply it to the other ones, and the answer is going to be yes. Cabinet, filing cabinet, we're going to call that office. And yes. And what I'm doing is I'm clicking inside of the schedule in order to get that put in. The desk chair. We're going to call that Office 2, so we don't have to retype an office. We could just choose it now that it's already a selection in there. Executive chair, we're going to call that Main Office, perhaps, although I do believe it's in the reception area. Oh, that's not right. So let's call that Main, correct? Type that correctly. And that's okay. It changes the other one, so that's good. And I do believe it changed the database element, so even though it was spelled miscorrectly before, it went ahead and changed that. So our desk chair, we're going to call that Office 2. That should help us fill it in. In regard to price, that's the last one we need to do. We're going to type in $450 for the cost of our desk chair, or of our desk, actually, our 60-inch desk. And that kind of fills in that. It'd be nice to get this all capitalized. Please do that on your own time. And let's go ahead and compare these schedules in our next film, and we'll talk about that a little bit further.